a quick rivals round review of the Super League fixtures. It was one of the best rivals round we've had for years, eh, Jordan?
Yeah, a lot of action, tight games. What we want, entertainment.
Yeah. On a personal note, though, 40-0 Hull Derby. That's where we'll start. Might as well start there.
Um,
Whoa, let's touch on that. You was in
yeah,
attendance, weren't you? So give your take on it. Give us a couple of talking points, mate.
I mean, it started very well for Hull. To be fair, Hull SC were the better side for probably, I'd say, the first 10 minutes. KR got a lucky try, and from then it just all went downhill from
Snowballed.
there. Yeah, think KR were just a lot quicker. Attack, defense, everything. They had a game plan. It was very clear what they were trying to do. Where it was nothing there in attack. We had no one apart from maybe Jake Clifford, but he got injured after I think it was half an hour and didn't come back on. So
That's a big blow.
really, yeah, probably our best player of the season. Not just in
Yeah.
that first half. Huge blow. And then I think there was a few dodgy calls refereeing wise, and I don't really want to focus on the referee because obviously Hull were terrible. We would have lost anyway.
Yeah,
But
there's no excuses there.
no, definitely not. But a few dodgy calls for both sides as well, I should say. Then the second half, as soon as Hull KR got that little bit of leeway, I think it was 26-0. That was it then. Stopped playing and it just got a lot worse from there. Really.
I think that's where I caught a bit of the game. I didn't catch it all, but I think I caught it from 26-0, and I thought, oh, they could still be in with a chance here, Hull. But I didn't know how the game was going before it, and then I just see Mikey Lewis absolutely everywhere, and they just blew him away even further. I thought, wow.
Yeah, all throughout the game, he was absolutely destroying us. Defense, everything. He was just he's like he was ahead of what we were going to do. He knew how we were going to go about it, and he just ruined our game plan, everything that we had going for us, and really pulled the strings.
Just touching on him quickly further. Sean Wayne's looking to get younger players into the squad now, bedding them in ahead of the next World Cup. He's definitely going to be at the top of the list, isn't he?
Yeah, for sure. He's definitely one of England's best. Maybe not even young halfbacks, but on form, definitely best fullback halfback. Sorry, I'd even say Jordan Abdul could be in there with a shout for KR as well. Both their halfbacks could both easily play for England and put in a good shift. To be fair.
Yeah, definitely. The Hull not play. Just looking forward to Hull not play Wakefield in a couple of weeks. Or is that not the next game? I've not looked at the fixtures. Yeah, I don't think.
We have Leeds on Friday night, which I'll be at. I think it's 3 weeks, which is going to be a big game by the looks of it.
It could be a decider, but either way, both teams desperately need a result.
Yeah, for sure.
Leeds is going to be tough to go to, especially on a Friday night.
Yeah, although we did it a few weeks ago, but that was obviously in a lot of different circumstances. Then confidence was high, and actually that was our last win 7 weeks ago. I think it was. That was our last win of the season. So
7 weeks just goes like that as well.
Yeah, straight away.
Especially in what's a shortish season anyway.
Yeah.
So let's go back to the day before now. On the Thursday night, the first game, Castleford versus Wakefield. Did you watch that one? Yeah.
Yeah, saw that.
Yeah. Wakefield just looked short and everything. They look lethargic. Nothing. Yeah. No real oomph about them at all, is there?
No.
Castleford was a bit sluggish themselves, but when you've got someone like Paul McShane who wants to move the ball really quickly, then you've got a big chance of winning the game. Former Man of Steel, etc.
Yeah, they have a few players, Castleford, that are just the standouts. Obviously, they've got too much to go down. Even if they're not playing the best, they're playing better than those around them. It's not just McShane. Obviously, you've got Westerman, albeit all the controversy this year. Still a very good player. Adam Milner, all of them sort of players they're going to be the ones that'll just have the edge that Castleford need to keep him up, especially in the big games against Wakefield, who obviously just aren't quite at it.
I think so. I said in my pre-match prediction, the atmosphere, it's guaranteed to be electric. It usually is at the Menderholes, especially in front of the Sky cameras, it was. I thought it was to do with nerves at first from both sets of fans, but it didn't seem to catch fire the atmosphere at all, which was really
No, and
surprising.
yeah, I think for a game like that, the atmosphere should have been a bit better. But Casford, I don't know if they really just played anyway. If it didn't really, although there was times in that game where you could look at Wakefield and think if they had that little bit more urgency and
Oh yeah,
yeah, especially in attack, because start of that second half they had quite a few chances there. Maybe a louder crowd, more urgency in attack could have got them over the line. Casford the same really.
Yeah, I felt sorry for Mason Lino at times, but he wasn't really too controlled neither. He's an instinctive player. He plays off instinct, which sometimes he needs to control it a little bit more, and he needs to have that backup around him. Do you know what I mean? Because he's a great number 7, but he needs that backup and he needs to control it a little bit more because he was the best threat that they had the other night.
Yeah, definitely, I agree. He's the brightest spark for that Wakefield team, and he could easily walk into a few of the other
Yeah,
teams.
I was just going to say,
Yeah.
I'm surprised they're still there.
Was it? Yeah, because looking at Leeds, for example, Aidan Caesar and Blake Austin both out of contract could be. There's teams like that which, no disrespect for Wakefield, are obviously are bigger teams that it could go to. Yeah. But yeah, he's that instinct that he's just so good at. If there's no one really giving him anything to play off, like on Thursday night, he's like a wasted talent there.
Yeah. Yeah, it's credit to Castleford though as well, and other teams that have come up against him, because I know Wakefield don't really seem to want it at the minute, but the other teams want it more, so that's what matters. Yeah. It's good. More, you've got to give credit to them. As poor as Wakefield's been, when I was at the Wigan game a few weeks ago, they put 60 past them and nilled them. Do you know what I mean? And you've got to give credit to the other teams for that, because they're on. I mean, Wigan are on fire. We'll move on to the next game now. We'll talk about Wigan Saints now. Wow, the atmosphere there for starters. That was unbelievable.
Incredible.
Game of the round for me, that, Jordan. Game of the round.
I would agree. I think yeah. Actually, Warrington Cat had a good game, but I would say Wigan Saints is probably game of the round. Actually, yeah.
Yeah, Harry Smith's kicking game. I mean, I remember when we had him at Swinton. It was you could see, because we had a good relationship dual reg with Wigan, so we had a good crop of players for a fair few years, and he was one of them, and he was standout, and you always knew that he was going to be one of the top Super League players, along with Liam Marshall. Liam Marshall was at Swinton at the same time, and you knew that both of them two was going to be two top Super League players, and now it's coming to fruition, and they're out playing unbelievable. Team Saints. I know Lewis Dodkin likes to control games from number 7, but Harry Smith the other night, he pretty much did control the game, didn't he, the other day? Sorry.
Yeah, definitely. He's one of the best players for Wigan in that game. And to be fair, he's starting to really cement himself in that side, which not easy because he's still quite a young kid in here.
Yeah.
I think not an easy thing to do in a side like Wigan. And, really impressive and deserves a place. And especially on Friday night, if he keeps playing like that, could go even further than just starting at Wigan.
It'd be nice to see him and George Williams at 6 and 7 together for England. Actually,
I would
like that for the France game at the end of this month. That would be nice to see that. I think that would work well.
Yeah,
because both of them have got a terrific kicking game as well as the reading of the game. You know what I mean?
Definitely. And George Williams, that bit more of an older, experienced head, just guiding that a little bit more, could really be a dangerous halfback partnership for England.
I agree. Let's look at Saints a little bit. They looked a bit short for answers. I mean, I was concentrating on Wellsbeth specifically for a good amount of time, because, in my opinion, I think he's one of the best talents that we could ever have if he reaches his potential.
Yeah.
I think he was controlling the team. He was doing everything. He was setting it up. Johnny Lomax was doing his bit. But by the time they got down to the edges, sometimes they looked a bit short. Conrad Hurrell got stopped a few times. I think this is all credit to Wigan though, but they looked a bit short, didn't they, Saints?
Yeah, it's not the usual Saints that we're used to seeing, is it really? But I don't know. I think Friday was definitely credit to Wigan. The Liam Marshall and Conrad Hurrell, that is no easy job for anyone, and he did a good job. But it's not just Wigan, is it? You've seen it quite a lot across the whole season. Looking at games like against Hull when they only narrowly beat some teams that you would expect them to quite comfortably beat, and losses against, I think it was Lee that they lost to, games like that, which maybe if it were a bit more not short, had the answer like we used to seeing, wouldn't have lost them games.
Yeah, I think it's because they've been so good they've set their own standard, haven't they, for the last few years. It's, in my opinion, and I've seen it floated around a lot, it's probably the best side of the Super League era.
I would agree, to be honest.
For playing style and the game management, like when they beat Castleford in the Challenge Cup final the other year, they won that by the game management. They know how to win games by the game management.
Yeah.
Grand finals, they've won very tight grand finals by game management, like the one against Catalans, and then obviously the breathtaking finish from Wellesby in 2020.
Yeah, but I think that's definitely always been one of their strongest points over the last few years, and what made them a champion side. But I know it's haunted a lot now. Like Saints can't take a loss and all that, but you do see their heads drop a bit now when they are losing the games and not being as competitive as they used to. I've seen some people maybe saying that's Paul Whelan's fault, but if we look back to Justin Holbrook's first few games in charge and his start, Saints was going through a similar rough patch. So I think maybe it's just ironing out them issues, maybe getting back to what we used to. And I wouldn't be surprised in maybe not a few weeks. I think we've proven that might be a bit of a longer process this time, but in a few months, come summer, I think they could be back to their best.
Do you think it's a bit of a hangover from the Challenge Club success against Penrith? I think it could be something to do with that. They've reached peak now, haven't they? So
yeah,
it should make them hungrier for more.
Yeah, because they've done effectively all they can. They've won everything that they can, but surely from their perspective, they're just going to want to keep going, keep pushing, see how long they can keep going for. But I think maybe from their perspective of kind of reach the end goal, but not reach the end goal, but reach what they set out to do. Maybe just not. Maybe slacking is maybe not the right word, because they're still looking good.
We're still winning at the games, and like you said, they're still looking good.
Yeah, but maybe just not quite as urgent to play the best style that they can, because they've already won what they can.
It's a long season. It's a short but long season, because it's rugby league. It takes its toll. So there's still plenty of games left. The Challenge Cup's due to start properly in a few weeks for Super League teams.
Yeah,
the Saints will always go marching on, won't they? Where everybody knows, don't write off the Saints.
Yeah, I mean, for sure, and we're looking at it now. I think it's 19 games left. Saying now, Wakefield Hull relegation battle, Warrington clear of the league. Anything could happen still. Saints could still absolutely dominate in the latter stages of the season and really win.
I was looking at the table, and Warrington top won every game. Wakefield bottom lost every game, and bang on in the middle at 6, Salford 50-50 record. So that could. Obviously, things will change, but I think that's where there or thereabouts Salford will finish. And if Warrington keep playing like they do, then they don't seem like they're going to be stopped at the minute, do they? We'll talk about that next. No. Catalans and Wire. Wow, that was some game as well.
It really was. That was exactly.
I thought it had an international feel to it.
I would agree. Actually, it felt more than
it was the fast pace of it as well. Straight away, it was bang, 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 bang. Obviously, sides make mistakes left, right, and centre. I don't care about that. As long I like the entertainment value. So make as many mistakes as you want, as long as it's thrilling, as long as it gets the pulses racing. I couldn't care less. Even if it's the highest of highest levels, make as many mistakes as you want, as long as it's thrilling.
Yeah. As long as there's drama and something there, that's entertainment at the end of the day is what brings fans to the sport. And so, like you say, knock-ons, but as long as there's the entertainment there, as long as there's that style of like Warrington Catalan game, as long as that's there, sport's in a good place and more fans will come to the games.
Matt Duffy's try. What about that one?
I know. I think Catalan didn't even expect that one. Quite unexpected for everyone.
Phil Clark, I didn't catch it. I didn't catch him saying it, but I've seen articles and stuff after it. He was saying Matt Duffy's not even good enough to be a fullback, and this and this and this. Apparently, I'm thinking, bloody hell, he's certainly proved him wrong, hasn't
I
it?
know.
I tipped him to be either there or thereabouts for Man of Steel, and I think he's a great fullback. I think he's one of the best in the league,
I would,
if
yeah.
not if not the world on current form.
He's got the talent. Clearly, he played in NRL for so many years. To say
Yeah, I
that he's
remember him at St. George. Yeah.
to say that he's not even good enough to be what did they say? Not good enough to be a fullback or something like
Fullback,
that.
I think that's what along the lines of what he said. Yeah,
Yeah, it's just
it's ridiculous.
it is. I'd love to see what evidence he had to back that sort of opinion up, because there's not any evidence to back that up, really, is there?
Well, when you talk about evidence, if he was looking for it for the following 80 minutes, he certainly got disproved, didn't he?
Yeah, definitely.
If a player like that can break the line from inside his own 40 and blow all the way.
Yeah. It's not, and it won't be, to be fair, not the first time Phil Clark's been made to eat his words either.
Yeah, you're right there.
Yeah, but yeah, brilliant from him, especially on Saturday.
Yeah, Gil Dudson's already lost his head a bit, didn't he?
Yeah, it seemed completely, there was nothing behind it, really, was it? It's just,
No.
but I get adrenaline maybe, but I don't know. I mean, I don't know if you've seen, but the video of him getting sent off and him like smiling at the camera and stuff.
Yeah, I've seen that clip. Yeah,
not really sure. I guess there's never really. Although if you punch someone, I guess it kind of is a bit of malice and intent in that. But yeah, it didn't really make much sense. And Warrington are lucky that won, because he could have easily cost them that. In the final
there was still a good period of the game left. I mean, we've seen it change within 30 seconds a game at the end. But like you said, probably put it down to adrenaline with that one.
Yeah, I think it's the only reason, because yeah, he's had his moments like that before, hasn't he? Look, first game of last season, I think it was, where he got a yellow card in the first 2 or 3 minutes. But I don't know. I think adrenaline must have got to him there.
It always seems to be the big boys as well.
Yeah,
that are throwing the punches.
Yeah.
There's usually some handbags, but then there's a big forearm going in.
Yeah.
Levy Salford, that was a close game by the end.
Yeah.
Charnley doing what he does best. I think he puts him on over 1,000 points now in Super League. That's a big achievement, isn't it?
It is. That's incredible. And he had how many? I think it's like 10 years. Is that something? It's got to be about 10 years that he's done that, which is pretty impressive.
Yeah, from Wigan, Warrington, now Lee. So
yeah,
it's pretty impressive.
He's on very good form this year as well, to be fair. I think he's got to be there or thereabouts with top try scorer, I'd imagine. I'm not too sure on that, but he's looking good, and he's a big signing that for Lee, and he's certainly doing them well. Yeah, I think he scored a hat trick a few weeks ago as well. He's really putting his weight around.
Have you seen any of Lee's games this season? All the fireworks and all the entertainment and the girls dressed up as leopards and all that stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. What do you think to it all?
I mean, at first I was very skeptical. What I think it's called Leto the Leopard, is it, or something?
Something like that.
When he got unveiled in round 1, again Salford actually, that I was a bit like, what's going on here? It doesn't quite feel like a rugby game, but I think overall he's done quite well to enhance the game day experience with all the music and all that before kickoff as well. I think it opens up a new market for the game that others could try to follow. So I would say overall positive, but there's been a few questionable things that have gone on.
I think it's because we've seen rebrandings done dozens and dozens of times over the years, and Derek Bowman is always in the media for one reason or another, whether it's controversial or it's positive. But let's have it right. He's one of the best characters that rugby league is ever going to have.
Yeah, for sure,
He
for
does.
sure.
He does so much. He pumps so much. I know. He makes money. He's a businessman. He doesn't have to do everything that he does for rugby league. He doesn't have to try something new. He said.
Yeah.
I remember him saying the rebrand was a bit rushed. Well, if it's been rushed, it's been a bloody good success so
Oh,
far. I feel like you said that it enhances the match day experience. You really feel for it when you're there. I think the leopard thing. It's a bit cringy, but.
yeah.
It is what it is, isn't it? And the
It,
town have took to it. There's a pub there now called the Leopard's Den, I think.
the, that is quite a big take into it. Then, I guess from an outside perspective, maybe the leopard thing looks maybe a little bit childish or not quite sport like, but it definitely works. It works for them, and and at the end of the day, if it works for them, why you're not going to change it. And it's a questionable rebrand still, yeah, but they look better than what they were in the Lee Centurions.
I agree with that. But well, if we look at the likes of the NBA with all their franchises, they've got teams called the Pelicans and the Seagulls and stuff like that. The
Yeah,
NRL with the Dolphins, the NHL and the NFL with the Miami Dolphins, etc. They've all got mental names.
yeah,
So I remember when Swinton they rebranded to Swinton Lions officially, but they was always pre-known as the Lions anyway. That was sort of a nickname anyway. So
yeah.
that was a more natural process. Do you know what I mean? It wasn't just like, yeah, we're going to change our name to this, and yeah, we're going to do this. But I agree with you. I think even the sounding of Lee Leopards sounds better than Lee Centurions.
It does. It sounds more sport like I mean, for a long time, animals and sports have been like put together for teams,
Yeah,
haven't they? So it makes sense to rebrand to an animal. I think most people originally had the problem with a shirt, didn't they? How that looks more than the rebrand
mm.
itself. But I think you know what, credit to Lee, they've took a chance and it's worked. And Derek Beaumont, with everything that he's done over the first few weeks of his season, has got to be really proud of how it's turned out.
I totally agree with that. When you're just touching on the kits, then seeing Salford's away kit, I think it's one of the best in rugby league. I really, really like that traditional, old school sort of look.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know, maybe not a massive fan of a colour scheme, but the way it works
Yeah,
for Salford. And
maybe, yeah.
but yeah, I think I would agree with that actually. Yeah, it's a very good kit. One of the best away kits of this season for sure.
Yeah, Rochdale usually have a nice kit. I think Wakefield's kit the other night was nice as well. It's just a shame that they're playing so poorly in it at the minute.
Yeah, I think I ranked a few months ago when the home kits were out of rank for kits from our blog, and I think Wakefield were definitely a standout in the sort of
Yeah,
kits that we're producing. Um, and yeah, to be fair, on a whole, I'd say there's a lot of good kits this year, just visually nice to look at. But yeah, as you say, Shane Wakefield out really playing brilliantly in it, but it looks good.
uh-huh. Yeah. But last game now. Let's touch on the last game. This was last night. Leeds versus Huddersfield. Huddersfield. I think I tweeted earlier in the day that I'd love to finish the Easter weekend with a dramatic drop goal win. I mean, we
Yeah,
got the drop goal. We got the drop goal, but
just
not in those circumstances.
yeah,
It was a game of 2 hours, really, weren't it?
definitely. I think Huddersfield lost control of that game, especially in the second half, because although
Mm,
Leeds have had maybe a bit of a run of turning on of not, I don't know how to describe it, like maybe not starting well, but
consistent. Oh
yeah,
right, yeah, okay.
consistent starting games well, which has probably led to the inconsistency in a lot of cases.
It may be, yeah.
But the second halves have been good, but Huddersfield really did it. I think it's things like Jake Connor when we were just 1 point ahead, just booting it in touch. When you're only
Yeah,
30 meters out, like
I
you've
thought
got
that was a bit strange.
stuff like that. Where the game management didn't really look great, and
Mm,
that's something that Huddersfield under Ian Watson last year was quite good at. They're closing out of them close games, and this year we've got almost a worrying ability to not be in them close games and just always find a way to lose when they probably should win them close games, which is probably concerning from a Huddersfield perspective. But take nothing away from Leeds because they were quite good in that second half yesterday.
yeah, the Huddersfield did look like they was going to come back into it when Lolohea got away. I thought that was a brilliant try. For that could be one of the tries of the round. That I think it was
Yeah,
was it Sam McQueen's second of the day.
Yeah.
Lollahea looked like he was about to be dragged down. I thought, keep your cool, lad, keep your cool. And he did. A couple of minutes later.
Yeah. I think Tui Lollahea has got to be one of Huddersfield's biggest talents for sure. And the way I know I've just said how Huddersfield can't really control the game as well, but he has that little bit extra control, but with skill and he's got a good knowledge of the game, and that's clearly helped Huddersfield. It helped him a lot last year. And although Jake Connor maybe hasn't started as well as he would have liked in his second spell at Huddersfield, I think when them two create a good partnership, that could be really dangerous, and some of that all Super League teams might struggle to deal with.
Yeah, it will definitely be a threat. It will definitely be a threat. Like you said, that was a game of it was definitely a game of two halves. I thought Huddersfield were going to nick it, and then, like you said, the game management, it just sort of went out the window.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe would it? I guess it's not nerves from Huddersfield as much because they're still in quite a good position. But something didn't quite. It didn't really look right the way they were managing the game. It's like they didn't know what would be the best way to deal with a lead side who are very inconsistent. You know, you look at the up and down like a yo-yo this year.
Mm.
You get from a team like Huddersfield, they're the games that you've got to be winning to maybe not keep the playoff hopes alive, because I would say Huddersfield, it's fair to say they'll probably get playoffs pretty comfortably this year. But if they're not beating the teams like Leeds, that's them games like that are going to stop them from progressing the next step of getting the silverware, getting them trophies.
And this regular top four that Ian Watson spoke of so many times.
Yeah, the regular top four, but obviously did it last year. I'd be surprised if Huddersfield don't get playoffs this year, but I don't know if it's these little games like Leeds. If they don't win this, how are they going to get the top four this year, let alone consistently every year for so long? So yeah.
Just in my preview, I touched on what I thought was going to be one of the best games of Cumbria and Derby. They're both pretty low in the table, Barrow and Whitehaven. Whitehaven just nicked it. Elsewhere, my team, Swinton, we desperately need a win at the minute. We got off to a decent start, 2 wins. And we've got the dual reg with St Helens, but we just can't seem to find that bite again at the minute. We've got nilled at home to York. Widnes went and put 40 odd past us the other day.
Yeah.
We just desperately need a win, and we're going to Sheffield away on Monday, and
tough
that's
game.
going to be it's a tough game at the minute. They're on fire, aren't they?
Yeah, I think Sheffield are a bit of a surprise package this year, aren't they? I think no one really expected them to be fighting where they are. Obviously, you still got the slight Featherstone are still ahead of everyone, but Sheffield could actually be fighting for that second place this year, the way that they are playing. So, yeah,
definitely will Toulouse just in between Fev and Huddersfield, just to touch on them. They're blowing hot and cold as well, aren't they?
Yeah, some weeks they seem to be absolutely dominant. Like, was it London they beat this weekend 52-0, was it? And London aren't playing terribly this year either. So I think it's games like that, but then for also losing games, like losing to Sheffield, which
Sheffield.
Yeah, as obviously Sheffield are playing well, but you'd still expect Toulouse to be beating them, and especially when they've only just been relegated from Super League, and it wasn't like they got dominated in Super League either. You know, unless they find that consistency, they could be not fighting this year for promotion.
With the other teams around it, definitely looking better than them at the minute. Like I said, Sheffield and Featherstone. I think maybe it finally could be Featherstone's year, maybe.
Finally,
with a Warrington thing, maybe. And then League One, Oldham and Rochdale, I thought was the best game. Oldham have just been taken over. I thought they feel good factor there. They've had 2 from 2 now. They've had three from 3, and they absolutely battered Rochdale the other day. I think it finished 50 odd points to something. I can't remember the final scoreline.
Yeah, I think I mean, I'm not going to pretend like I watch League One all the time, but I don't think anyone really saw that one coming. You'd expect quite a close game between them two, and Rochdale are struggling this year, which I think is quite a shock. Thought they'd be
especially with the money.
Yeah, with the money
They've
they've
got some.
got.
They've got some good backing. They've always had a very good budget for League One and under Andy Maisie and stuff.
Yeah, and I believe they're rebranded to Manchester Hornets or something as well, aren't they? So
I think that was an April Fool's Day thing.
ah, um,
He was doing it
well,
as a wind up because he'd probably know how all the Swinton fans would react and they'd be all laughing about it and da 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 da. But yeah, I think it was put out
yeah,
on April Fool's Day, so that made more sense. Because I
fair
did
enough.
think the same. I did think the same thing at first. I sent it to my mate, and he was from Rochdale, and he just replied. He said, "It's April Fool's Day, you dickhead." I was like, oh.
Ah, yeah, I mean, because I don't think it would. It didn't sound that stupid considering they're back in
No, that's
it's
what I mean. And he's done it. He's tried to do it before with Swinton, so it sounded plausible. It sounded
yeah.
believable. It was probably the best April Fool's Day joke out the lot, to be fair, that I'd
Is
seen. So fair play
well,
for that. Fair play for
it's
that.
9 days later, and I still believed it, so it was pretty good. Yeah,
We'll just move on to the NRL quickly. You do watch a bit of NRL and that, don't you? You are
yeah,
into it. Do you
yeah,
have an NRL team, Jordan?
yeah. South Sydney, South
Yeah,
Sydney.
mine's the Cowboys because of JT.
Yeah, I do like watching the
Abs-
Cowboys. Well, I like watching
Um,
NRL in general, to be fair.
yeah, just the absolute quality of it all the time. It's unbelievable. The
Yeah,
Dolphins, they're making a real statement at the minute.
yeah,
Mr. Bennett, Mr. Wolf, as his right hand man, who will take over after Bennett retires. That's looking like a really successful franchise.
definitely. I was looking into it when it was first announced, and I thought there could be something there, but with it being based in Brisbane, and it's not really expanding the location of the game. I thought maybe a big player is really going to want to switch to this new franchise when you've got the big teams like Brisbane around them,
Yeah.
but they clearly have, and they clearly all bought into it, and it's a very good decision. And getting a coach as good as Wayne Bennett at the start it's always going to go quite well.
Yeah. Speaking about Brisbane, they look like they're back, don't they? They're at the top of the table at the minute,
Yeah,
aren't they?
yeah, they're
After a
doing.
tricky few years, they've got signed Adam Reynolds, didn't they? And now I think he's settled in properly.
It's looking
Um,
like a brilliant signing for them for sure. Yeah, think it's uncharacteristic of Brisbane the last few years. So I guess it was only a matter of time before they got to
oh
where
yeah,
they needed, where they are used to being. But I think this season is probably a bit further up than everyone expected them to be in their
yeah.
recovery. But it's going very well for them. That's for sure.
And we'll just finish it. The West Tigers are struggling out that they can't get a win.
Yeah, the like it's not even like they have that bad of a team either because obviously it's NRL, it's a very good team, but I don't know, they're just missing that spark that they need. The final like piece of a jigsaw is just missing for them. But I think they had quite a close game this weekend, didn't they? If I'm right in saying so, maybe the first win is not miles away, but the
Hopefully, has Bateman got an injury of some sort, a bit of a mad injury of some sort.
I
I think
think
I
he
read.
did. I think so. I don't know what,
One of the
but
one of the worst injuries in rugby league, they was calling it. So I know he's out for a bit.
yeah,
They think things like that don't help him, but this has been a problem for West since last season. I mean, my mate, he's a West fan.
yeah,
He follows them quite closely, and he's getting tired of it now. Waking up early doors on Fridays, Saturdays,
yeah,
Sundays to catch the game. I should have just stayed in bed.
yeah. But yeah, it's a consistent problem. I'm not too sure who their coach is. It Michael? More not Michael. I kind of
Michael Maguire, is it?
yeah.
Is
That's
that
I think
yeah?
that's
Is
it.
it?
Is it? Yeah, I think so. I don't. Although I'm not sure whether he got sacked or not.
I
But
don't. Yeah, don't quote me on that.
yeah, but if he is still in charge, he's not a bad coach to be fair. So you would imagine that a turnaround would be pretty soon. But then again, it's not looking like a change is really happening. So
No,
who knows?
I'm just trying to look here now to see who the coach is. I can't see it anywhere. Anyway,
Yeah,
Thank you very much for tonight, Jordan. We've run through it all.
No worries.
We'll probably do a preview for the next round, because we've got Warrington and Wigan this Friday, haven't we?
Very big game.
We won't talk about it too much now. But if Warrington win that, they'll be 6 points clear, won't they? So that'll be great.
That's huge as well.
Yeah, you enjoy the rest of your week, mate. I'll speak to you throughout the week. And everybody, don't forget, like, subscribe, share the video if you like. We'll be putting out loads more content over the next coming weeks. Thank you very much, everybody.
Cheers. Bye.